Hey, welcome to Sentimentshub. Today we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of us feel, but maybe we don't always have the words for it. Have you ever been there? You're in a busy place, maybe a coffee shop, and there's just chatter everywhere. And instead of feeling energized or connected, you just feel drained. Like every little bit of small talk is just pulling from your energy reserves. If you've ever felt that, then yeah, you're in the right place.
All right, so let's get right into it. The burden of small talk. And really, for a lot of people, it's not just, a little annoying. It's a real, genuine weight.
And I really want to be clear about this. It has nothing to do with being shy or, being rude. It's this deep mental exhaustion that kicks in when you're just stuck in conversations that go nowhere, deep, the weather, what you did last weekend, all the usual stuff. It can honestly feel like you're trying to run a marathon, but there's no finish line in sight. So what's really going on here? Why does this happen? Well, the answer probably isn't what you think. It's not about your social skills. It's actually about how your brain is wired. It comes down to having a mind that is just always looking for depth. Okay, so there's a fancy term for this. It's called high cognitive stimulation needs. It sounds super academic, right? But all it really means is that some brains are just hungry. They need complex, new, interesting ideas to chew on, to feel satisfied and engaged. Here's a good way to think about it. Your brain isn't just a sponge, passively soaking things up. No, it's more like a detective, always on the lookout for a challenge, a puzzle to piece together. And in that context, small talk, it's like an appetizer, a tiny little snack. But your brain is starving for a full 7-course meal. It just doesn't even touch the sides. So what does that full meal look like? Well, it's exactly this stuff. It's getting lost in those deep, meaningful conversations that go somewhere new. It's that amazing feeling of wrestling with a complex problem and finally getting it. It's about digging into nuanced ideas and just seeing the patterns and connections that other people might miss.
Okay, so now for the science behind why it's so draining. There's this process called selective organization. Basically, when your brain is getting all this information it finds, boring, it has to work extra hard just to filter it out. And that filtering process? It burns a ton of mental energy.
Get this, it can feel like it takes literally twice the energy to force yourself through unfulfilling small talk than it does to dive headfirst into a topic you're passionate about. Think about that. It's because in one case, your brain is actively fighting to pay attention. In the other, it's just in the zone. It's effortless. It's alive. And this right here is probably the most important part of this whole conversation. Because this feeling gets so misunderstood, right? Not just by other people, but sometimes by ourselves. This does not make you antisocial. It makes you selectively social. Let's break down this reframe because it's so important. People might see you as antisocial or aloof. The reality? You're just being selective with your social energy. They might think you avoid people. Nope, you actually value deep connection. They might think you're uninterested. The truth is, you just get understimulated really quickly. I love this quote from the philosopher Spinoza. He absolutely nailed it. The highest activity a human being can attain is learning for understanding, because to understand is to be free. See? This isn't just some personality quirk, this drive for depth, for understanding. It's about freedom. It's a real fundamental need.
So where does all this leave us? What's the big takeaway here? It's actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's time to fully embrace that rich inner world you have.
I really want you to hear this. Your need for solitude, that's not emptiness. It's fullness. Seriously. That time you spend by yourself, just thinking, that's not some kind of social failure. It's the complete opposite. It's your mind firing on all cylinders, doing what it loves, connecting the dots, creating, exploring, without all that superficial noise. That is a superpower.
So, I want to leave you with a question to think about. The next time you choose to be quiet, instead of making small talk, try not to see it as you hiding or escaping. See it for what it is, an adventure, an exploration, and ask yourself, what amazing idea is just waiting for me to find it in the quiet? Hey, if any of this hit home for you, maybe think about subscribing to Sentimentshub. We're all about digging into these kinds of insights that help us understand ourselves and maybe the world just a little bit better. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one.